Let's talk with Trey. Discussing life day by day. Together we can pave the way. The next show is underway. Let's talk with Trey. Discussing life day by day. Together we can pave the way. The next show is underway.
Hey, welcome to another episode of Let's Talk with Trey Bryan. As you can see, I'm not by myself today. I got my good brother Tony here, who's going to support me on a couple of our episodes. The one you're going to see today, and a few more in the future dates. So with that, we're going to do stuff a little different today. No notes, no objectives, no vision, and none of that. We're just going to straight up talk about Colorado.
I love it.
Yeah, so
I love it.
We're going to talk about football.
That's my guy.
And talk about Deion Sanders and Colorado. So what I'm going to do is pass it on, because you already know this ugly mug. I'm going to pass it on to Tony in a second. But as you know, we keep our stuff at 15 minutes or less. Why? Because we know you're busy. We know you got things going on in life. And these are just nuggets of pieces of life that we like to throw out and give our perspective on. We're not doctors, but we're smart. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and pass it to Tony, and he is going to tell me, probably ask me some questions about what I think as even his perspective on Colorado and Deion Sanders. With that, what do you got to say, bro?
Well, you know, some people are trying to figure out why is everybody on Colorado? You know, like what is going on to where it's got the most views, it's got everybody's tuned in, and you got little kids, and you got everybody kind of on this Colorado bandwagon. And what's amazing to me is because Deion touches everybody. His story, in some form or fashion, is everybody's story. Like, for example, you know, coming from nothing. People can relate.
Exactly.
Being a man of God, people can relate. Being a football coach, a mentor, people can relate. Being at some point ready to commit suicide, people can relate. So you're looking at somebody we've never seen a person in real time that wasn't put in a movie that we had to watch later about what's happening in the movie.
Right.
We get to witness this thing every day in real time. That's the part that makes it so amazing, because what he's able to do and how he's able to inspire people is something that we've just haven't seen.
And I think it's because of and all the different magnitudes that he's doing, right? So you have all these different perspectives. If you look at titles, which I hate going with titles, but if you look at titles, how many titles does this man have?
Yeah.
Father, teacher, because he's a teacher as a coach as well. Teacher/coach.
Yeah.
Teacher of life. You know, going through adversity from being young, right? And I don't have his whole story.
Right.
But I know he grew up similar to a lot of us. I mean, Tony grew up rich, but we grew up poor, right? So it was a very similar situation, not having a daddy around. A lot of us relate to that, right? I mean, so, and doing things that you got to do to succeed in life. So he has that, right? A successor, player, coach. What am I missing? He got money now.
A former professional athlete, which most, and we might as well put it out there, most people are having a hard time transitioning from professional sports to normal lives.
He's an influencer. He's an example of things that we should do, male or female, in life, right? Showing us how to overcome adversity.
Absolutely.
Right?
Anybody
from the time he was younger to even adulthood. I mean, look at the health issues.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
He's an example. And then he's not afraid to show his spiritual side of what God is doing.
He's not afraid to show his feet.
Exactly. Yeah,
from surgery.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's tough.
He is not holding anything back. And I mean, a lot of times you'll see him interacting with the kids, and they'll make a joke about, man, come on, man, you only got so many toes away.
Right.
You know, I mean, but that just shows you, how he's not taking himself too serious.
Right. He's been. I think one of the words when I think of Deion Sanders is, other than some of the simple, easy ones, strength and all that, right? Leadership.
Mm-hmm.
Leadership in all aspects, right? He's showing you how to lead, get out of things, to lead out of certain things, whether it's health issues, whether it's poverty, whether it's relationships. I mean, he's not ashamed to admit he made mistakes in relationships, and then he keep moving on, but it's not stopping him from keep persevering through life, even in relationship. He's not afraid to say that God is his foundation.
Right.
You know what I mean?
No.
So a lot of folks, as they get bigger and bigger, they try to dim me down on what's really got them there, which is God. Yep. And then I'll allow them to use what he gave them, their strength and their knowledge and their wisdom, to keep persevering. And then, more important, to show folks, he's teaching without teaching.
Yes. All the time.
You got that?
All the time.
What do you think?
He puts subliminal messages in all these kids' minds, in their spirit, and he's showing you in real time what an affirmation of do you believe can do to a group of people that just met. Mm-hmm. That's amazing.
Yeah.
A group of people that just met, didn't know each other a year ago, beat the defending national champions in football. That's amazing.
Here's the thing, too. We just watched the game today.
Oh, yes, we did.
USC, Colorado.
Yes.
Colorado won that game.
They did.
And if you're listening, you're like, what's wrong with that boy? What do you mean? They lost.
Right, you're right.
It was, what was it, 48-41?
They scored 30 points in the first half.
Exactly. But look at the leadership, the determination, the coaching, the parenting that he did, that he does each and every with those young men. And I would argue also to say that he's also teaching the parents as they go through. And a lot of times you go to these schools, right? You go to college, and your kids go to college. They're about coaches and all about football or baseball, basketball, whatever they're doing.
Right.
And then secondary is the kids, the parents, the family. And I get and I'm not there with Deion. I don't know, but I get this feeling that he's doing both. He's doing it all.
He is.
Like he's making sure that the kids are taken care of.
Yep.
He's making sure there's a connection with the parents.
Yep.
He's making sure that he actually take care of the kids. Like if someone hurt.
Yep.
The number one guy was hurt.
Yep.
What he said, no, you're sitting out until I think you're ready.
And his son didn't play today.
Right.
I mean, he had two starters off of defense today.
Right.
And they still was in the game.
Against a team that's number 8 in the nation. I don't know it's going to be number 8 now, but number 8 in the nation. They just lost last week to number 10.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
They scored 41 points against
sure
the number 8 team in the nation.
Yeah, that's amazing.
So that's why I say they won.
They did win.
Coming from a team, and Deion Sanders wasn't part of that last year, but coming from a team that couldn't win a game.
Right.
We won one game in 2 years, 3 years? I don't know what it was.
Right.
Even if they won one game a year, that's pretty bad. So they won 3 games already.
And I think the most important thing is just how they competed today.
Yes.
They didn't quit. I mean, they had every reason to quit. Mm-hmm. And for whatever reason, whatever they said to them at halftime, they need to put that in a bottle.
Yeah.
And sell it.
So what does it teach us though as human beings, period? What does it teach, regardless of what? Like, folks like to put stuff in category. Yeah. Black people, white people, young, old, whatever. But what does that teach us? Because what I'm looking at is more than just a game.
It is.
So when you think of all that, what is it?
It basically just says, you're going to have ups and downs in life. And you got to stay right here. You got to, look at what happened, but don't get too caught up in it. And go out and execute on the next play. Execute on the next play. What is the next move you're going to make in life? You want to do something, you want to change careers, execute on the next career. Execute in your next relationship. Execute, just because you might have had some ups and downs and trials doesn't mean you can't execute
Right.
the next time you get a chance.
Exactly. And what I will add to that, and it's only because, Tony, I'm a player. I'm planner, not a player. Planner.
Planner.
Let me clear that up.
Planner.
I'm married. I'm no longer a player.
He's a
Used to be,
planner.
Long time ago.
He's a planner now.
I'm a planner. Strategic planner, not a strategic player. So I plan almost everything.
Yes, you do.
Including in life stuff. You know this, right?
Yeah.
So, and I think I know where it come from is when I was younger, being hurt a lot, right? It's a defensive mechanism to make sure we're playing.
Right.
So I think, as an analogy, they do that in football. They do it in professional, any type. When we're talking about professional, when I say professional, I think anything past high school, right?
Right.
College is professional, if you ask me. And they do all this strategic planning, right? But we forget a lot to plan in life so that we can implement and execute things.
Absolutely.
So we're coming with an idea, and an idea is just that, an idea.
Yep.
But are we strategically planning like Deion does, when they use the example of football and coaching, does with that, and realize that it's more than just being a great coach. It's also being a great individual,
Right.
a great person who cares for people.
Right.
And once you make those connections and that you actually have the heart to care,
And I will say,
then great results will come out.
I will say too, we're talking about Deion, but don't get it confused. He has a great support staff.
Exactly. Starting with his mama.
Because without the support staff, Deion doesn't get nothing done that he needs to get done. Deion only has two hands. He can't teach
Almost
offense.
2 feet.
He can't teach offense, defense, special teams.
Yeah.
How to kids not get in trouble. Make sure people get their homework done. He train.
Exactly.
There's a team in place that are excellent.
Absolutely. But you have to be, I believe, that you have to be that strategic planner and a strategic leader.
Yes.
To make sure you have that group around you.
Absolutely.
So you can persevere. So you have to think bigger as a big picture to say, how can I accomplish this goal that I'm trying to get that includes everyone? And I think that's what he does very well.
Yes.
Obviously, he's not going to be the best defensive coordinator, the best offense coordinator, the best. I would argue and say he may not be the best father. You know what I mean?
Right.
But when you strive to do that, like we're talking about Deion,
Yeah.
and now
Yeah.
switches to when
Yeah.
you strive to be that better person, that better individual, that better father, that better mother, that better brother, sister, uncle, whatever it is,
Right.
better husband, better wife. When you strive for that, you're going to achieve more than what you ever thought that you could.
Right.
I think we put a cap on ourselves by basing off what other people got or basing off what other people do. And what we can learn from Deion is that bump what everybody else is doing. You can learn from people.
Right.
But don't base your life, don't base off what you're doing off someone else. When you do that, you're hindering yourself because you're blocking your own blessings by blocking your own gifts that God has given you.
That's true. Now I will say on another note, so I got a question for you. Do you have to have an alter ego to accomplish all these things? Do you have to be prime?
Okay. He's asking me this question because
What about King James?
yeah.
Everybody got the Iron Mike Tyson,
I'm gonna tell you this. Here's
Cassius.
totally honest. Like
Okay.
when I started being more successful in life,
Okay.
I did.
You had alter ego?
Yes, I did.
What they call you?
I had multiple. Of what they call me, right? I called it confidence.
Right.
And what I was doing was planning, like I alluded to earlier. I planned a strategic plan on everything.
Right.
And let's focus on work now, right? So people, when they say success, they immediately think about business, but there's more successful in life and personal life and all that stuff, right? But let's just talk about my career.
Okay.
One of the careers I had was in the military for many years, right? And as I build up in rank and build up in responsibilities, then I start creating an alter ego because without even realizing it, just so I can succeed even more, because people actually kind of expect that a little bit.
They do.
They kind of expect you, because if you don't, then it's like, oh, that's just another regular guy.
Right.
But when you show that you're able to do things, you actually do develop an alter ego. So some of the names I had was Tasmanian Devil. Is what my troops
they called
me.
Right.
And I didn't know that for like 2 years.
But,
And then when I found out, I was like, one was brave enough to come and tell me. And that's what everybody's talking about. I said, where did that come from? I said, you're like Bugs Bunny or whatever that was.
Right.
And for the young folks that don't know what that is, it's like it was a cartoon character. Was it with Bugs Bunny or something? It was some cartoon characters back in the day when we were younger. And they called it Tasmanian Devil because it was that's what they really call it, right?
Yeah,
It's an animal that just spins out, just like get all mad and spin out of control.
Yeah.
And then go back and do what they gotta do. And then when you get upset about something, they spin out of control and
I do remember.
And then they get what they need to get done. So they called me the Tasmanian Devil because I was calm.
Okay.
Until I realized that stuff needed to be amped.
And
then I amped it up.
Then you amped
so
it
it
up.
threw them off because they were expecting the calmness. Kind of like when I was in high school, folks would go, oh, well, why is he doing a podcast? Because he didn't speak much in high school at all.
Right.
I spoke. I wait till I got home to the city.
Mm-hmm.
But, it was me just being defensive as well. So
the challenge is everybody find your alter ego.
Yes.
And create it and live it. It doesn't have to be part of the reality that you currently have. It needs to be a part of the reality that you feel that you want to become.
And can achieve.
Yeah, because, OJ was the juice. I started thinking about that the other day. I said, wait a minute, does everybody have to have an alter ego to be successful? I don't know. But everybody sure does have a nickname.
I
of some type.
I would say that nickname is the alter ego.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And let me clarify something. I don't believe, and this is what I think that a lot of people believe. I think a lot of people believe if you have an alter ego, they equate that to negativity.
No.
And you go, oh, okay, they got an alter ego.
Right.
But then, as soon as you grow around the corner, you're like, oh yeah, I kind of like what that person did on there. But you got to watch out on some of this stuff. Now, alter ego doesn't mean you're gonna be ignorant,
right,
and mistreat folks and stuff like that.
Right.
That's another alluding back to Deion Sanders. That's another thing that I think he does. Like he's very confident that if you're not confident in yourself, you can view him as arrogant, egotistic.
Right.
When I see him. Like I tell my wife, I was like, I see him, I was like, man, that's a good dude.
Yeah.
And she was like, yeah, you would say that.
Yeah. Right, of course.
Because she think I'm the same way. And I was like, no, I'm not. And I had to sit back and think, it's like, no, I do strive to try to achieve things.
Right.
And I do, and this is a similarity, as a lot of us have similarities with Deion, right? Because it's just not Deion, it's who we are as individuals. Though I believe a lot of us that grew up poor. I'll be honest, grew up in a house that had roaches and mice. I ain't gonna say rats.
Right.
Those were outside. And so we didn't grow with the great amount of money, right? But you couldn't tell us when we were young. We thought we were rich, really, but we wasn't until we got older. But I think there's a certain thing that develops in you when you don't have certain things that make you strive for the majority of the people. And for me, there was multiple things. We didn't have money. Didn't have a daddy.
Right.
Let me clarify. My daddy got an excuse. It wasn't like he just left. He died in a car accident.
No,
so,
right.
But even the ones the dad that left, we're still in the same situation.
Yeah.
I grew up. At the end of the day, there was no daddy. Right.
So
I think what happens is you're either going to build that into you to say, I'm going to achieve more, which is what Deion did, and other folks do as well, or you're the opposite way.
Right.
So, which I think is great to have someone like Deion for those young kids, young adults, young men.
But me too.
To mentor them without even mentoring them.
Shoot, he mentoring me.
Exactly, he's mentoring everyone.
He's showing
and he what
everybody
happens,
how to persevere.
Yeah, and I think what it does is show to stay positive.
Yeah. No matter what.
No matter what. I mean, this man had a lot
Win, lose, or draw.
and he had win, lose, loss in life.
true.
If you go look up, I don't know his whole story. I promise you that.
Right.
But I know a little bit.
Right.
And the adversity that he went through, whether it was on a professional level, even when he was succeeding with the Cowboys and
Everything.
49ers and all
Right.
that, there was stuff going on, right? Even prior to that in college, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then people think he graduated from the college that he was at. He actually graduated from an HBCU, you know?
Right.
And it's like people do a lot of speculation and following what people think and listening to other folks' message when they really should be focusing and listening what the truth may be.
Right.
And reading up on something. I forgot where I was going with that. But at the end of the day is we should be striving to do the best that we are and who we are. And if there's individuals can continue to push and persevere through life by giving examples like Deion.
Right.
And it doesn't have to be a star. Probably a lot of folks wait and try to look for star athletes or actors and all that. When you can have an individual who's just living day by day, you know, that can actually produce good stuff in you if you listen.
Right. And on the end note, your wife is right.
Okay. We're successful.
Hey, it is what it is.
All right, with that, we're going to close this out. Thank you for tuning in. Please come back and you tell we're excited about these new episodes of Let's Talk with Trey Bryant. We're going to be talking about everything. The next episodes you'll probably view, we may be talking about church. We may be talking about relationships. We may be talking about critical thinking. Who knows? Just tune in. But until then, I want to thank you for tuning in to Let's Talk with Trey Bryant. And the phone is ringing. I think that's Jesus. And thank you for tuning in. And we'll see you next time on Let's Talk with Trey Bryant. And thank you, Tony, for being the host, host for this one.
No problem.
Look forward to you for any future podcasts as well. With that, we're out. Take care. God bless. Love you.